YouTube, how's it going? Frogs Angels is back with some more record predictions for the upcoming 2018 season. We're using this website, playoffpredictors.com. Link in the description. Go check it out. But we're on the Raiders today. We did all the AFC West teams, so go check those out. And then after the Raiders, we are doing the NFC West teams, and then we'll predict playoffs, then Super Bowl. We'll have a couple other Frogs Angels guys make their predictions. Then during the year, weekly NFL pick'ems. So a lot going on here for Frogs Angels. So we got you covered. But the Raiders, a tough team to predict. What offense we're going to get from the Raiders. I'm thinking it's going to be closer to a few years ago when it was one of the better offenses in football, honestly. Will it be a top-tier offense? Probably not, but I think they'll play at a pretty high level if everyone stays healthy. Gruden in there. Derek Carr, I expect to step up. What are we going to get from Marshawn Lynch? He still got more in the tank. I think he does. I like the Jordy Nelson pickup. Hopefully he can stay healthy. Really, it's on the offensive line for this offense. The offensive line could struggle a little bit. It's played pretty well in the past. Going to have some young guys step up. Colton Miller's going to have to step up. I like his potential. He's going to struggle early on, though. You should expect that. Kind of an athletic offensive lineman with a lot of potential, but needs some time to grow. So it's really on the offensive line. If the offensive line plays pretty decent, then everyone else will play pretty good, I think. If the offensive line's really struggling, that can affect Derek Carr, can affect the run game as well. I'm not really too worried about the run blocking. It's more of the pass protection on the outside for Derek Carr. So it's tough to tell what we'll get from this Raiders team, and that's also because of the defense. You got some really good pieces. You got maybe the best defensive player in football in Khalil Mack, but I don't know what's going on with him. It's a little scary. There's been some rumors that he could be traded. My money is on him staying with the Raiders. There's rumors he's going elsewhere, but I don't know if I believe him. But they need him. They need him pretty badly. The rest of the defense could struggle. You got some young pieces in the secondary, which they desperately need. Garyon Conley's going to get better. Carl Joseph. Obi Melifonwu is still a little bit of a project guy, maybe not quite ready yet. We knew he was a good potential guy coming out of UConn. Linebacker unit, a little messy. I don't know how that will perform. Defensive line, you got some guys here and there, but I like they got some steals later in the draft. Maurice Hurst, honestly, I think can come in there if healthy and play right away. Arden Key, another guy I think if on the field can help right away, play at a pretty high level. But yeah, a lot of these guys have questions with health, and maybe off the field issues with Arden Key, but he also had a health injury last year. So hopefully these guys stay healthy. The defense does need to step up. Offensive line needs to play pretty well. So the Raiders are a very tricky team. Very tricky team. Let's break down the schedule. Go game by game here. Week 1 against the Rams. Monday night could very easily go either way. I think the Rams will be more prepared. I think they're the better team. So I like the Rams in that one, but I really think it can go either way. Week 2 against the Broncos. That's tough. The Broncos got the defense. The Raiders got the offense. I think both teams could use some help on the opposite side. I think the Broncos, their problem could be scoring consistently. I think they can score on this Raiders D, especially early on. Will Khalil Mack be in this game? That's a big question early on here. I'll take the Broncos at home. Week 3 against the Dolphins. Dolphins could be a sneaky team. Defense can be pretty solid, but they can slow down the Raiders maybe, but I think they'll be able to score a good amount of points. Dolphins offense could struggle a little bit. I like the Raiders in week 3. Week 4 against the Browns. I think the Raiders could air it out in this one. I think the Browns defense looking good, but mainly looking good for the future. Mainly look at the secondary. Got some pieces that are good for the future, but I think that secondary could struggle a little bit this year. I like the Raiders for matchup purposes there. Week 5 is in LA. I think the Chargers are the best team in this division, and they are home here. I will take the Chargers. Week 6 against Seattle. Seattle's defense nowhere near the same as it was. Ooh, it's in London. Those London games can go either way. But, again, I think the Raiders can score some points here. Stopping Russell Wilson's also going to be a struggle. Could be a high-scoring game. You never know with the Seahawks, though. 1 week they'll score an insane amount of points, but then 1 week they'll score like 6 or 10. So, and I don't think their team is anywhere near where it was. So I like the Raiders in this one. Bye week, I think it comes at a good time here. Then they play the Colts, and they can put up some points on the Colts too. I think this offense is going to start getting going at some point during this part of the season, get better and better. Doesn't mean they're going to start winning games like crazy, but I think they can really score on the Colts. The Niners game, Thursday night in San Francisco. I like this game. This is going to be a good one. I think a high-scoring game. I think we see another high-scoring game here. I like the Niners at home. I think Jimmy G has the day on that one. Against the Chargers, division game. I think the Chargers were better, but I think their offense really gets going here. I think they win this one at home, but again, could go either way. In Arizona, that's a tough one. Cardinals, another tough team to tell. They got some good pieces on defense. They do have some, I don't want to say holes, but spots where they need some developing, could get better on defense. Offensively, we don't know who's going to be at quarterback. David Johnson's one of the best running backs in the league if he's healthy. Receiving unit, not looking too good. Offensive line could struggle too. I think the Raiders are the better team. It's in Arizona, though, so could go either way, but I'll take the Raiders. Week 12 against the Ravens. Ravens defense, I'm kind of back and forth. Some guys, it's a good defense. Has been a good defense. A lot of their best players are aging. What are we going to get from them? But I still think it's going to be a pretty darn good defense. I think they can slow down the Raiders being in Baltimore here. They can play a pretty good game. I think they'll be able to put up points. So that's the scary thing about the Ravens. Can they put up points consistently? I think they can on the Raiders defense. We'll see though. But I got the Ravens. Week 13, home against the Chiefs. They're the Raiders. I think we see another shootout game. I think two very good offenses at this point of the season. Two teams that defenses could struggle a little bit. I expect Khalil Mack on the field here. I think he'll be on the Raiders. So looking at the two defenses, the Raiders have Khalil Mack. The Chiefs don't. Chiefs do have Eric Berry, though. But, being at home, high-scoring game, I'll take the home team there. Against the Steelers, it should be another shootout. But can the Raiders offense keep up with the Steelers offense? I think most people would agree that they most likely can't. Anything can happen any Sunday. But I like the Steelers in that one. Week 15 is in Cincinnati. That is tough. Oh, boy. Cincinnati, I'm kind of back and forth, too. I think they could be a solid team. I think coaching is the question. The Bengals are going to go out and score a insane amount of points. But their defense can play pretty solid. Man. I'll take the Raiders in this one. I may have picked the Bengals in the Bengals video a while ago, but I like the Raiders. I think they can score on the Bengals defense, even though the Bengals defense is pretty solid, I think. That's a tough one. Could go either way. Week 16, home against the Broncos. I had the Broncos winning the first one. I don't think the Broncos will 2-0 the Raiders, especially in Oakland on Monday night. I'll take the Raiders. And then in Kansas City, another shootout battle between the two division teams. I like the Chiefs at home in this one. So we got the Raiders finishing 9-7. Going back and looking at it, I think it's realistic they can actually win week 1. People expect the Rams, but I think it's realistic they can win that game. They honestly could beat the Broncos, and they could be a slightly better team. So they honestly can start 3-0 pretty easily, and looking at the Browns 4-0. But in the games I have them winning too. I mean, they could lose to the Seahawks. Could beat the Niners. The Cardinals. I was kind of back and forth. I think the Cardinals can win that game at home. The Bengals game, kind of back and forth on that one. So I think 9-7 is pretty realistic. I think they can win 10 games, but I'm looking at 8-9 range for the Raiders, and it's mainly because of the defense. Khalil Mack needs to get out there, but still, even with him, that's a defense I think that will struggle. I think they can give up some passing yards, and the offensive line. If the offense isn't good this year, it's because the offensive line struggles. I'm pretty confident on that. Or it's beat up, but it could be beat up because of the offensive line. But the offensive line has played; it has been pretty impressive the last few years. So it's kind of maybe I'm just, maybe I'm doubting them a little too much here. Maybe they got good coaching staff over there. They have some veterans on the offensive line at the same time, having to step up. So we'll see. That'll do it for the Raiders. 9-7. Let me know what you guys think. Just the NFC West to cover and then playoffs. So can't wait for that. Should be fun. Subscriber goals 10K subscribers, so click that button if you haven't already, and click that like button as well. That would be much appreciated. But that'll do it for this one. Stay tuned. We got plenty more leading up to the season and during the season. Weekly pick'ems, always a fun time. That'll do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.